Hi again, Andy here. This is a second part of the video for those of you who whipped through that making of the box in record time and you'd like to do something a little bit more sophisticated and maybe make a more kind of crazy box. Well, this is your chance. So for starters, we could go back to, and I'm just in the simple box solid part, the first file that we created, and we can roll this back. And any change you want to make to this, for instance, we could edit the shape of this original rectangle. We could change any of these features. We could change the shell. All of that is quite easily done. But what I'm going to show you is, rather than changing that part of it, let's not just rely upon a simple planar joining line. Let's do something a bit crazier than that. Since we are going to 3D print this, we really are quite wide open as to what we can do. We don't need to stick to flat surfaces that would be easily machined. So I'm going to try and cut this on a funky curve. So what that means is, first of all, I need to draw a curve. And I'm going to start with a new sketch. I'm going to sketch on that face. So I'm sketching on the side. And I'm going to use a spline tool. And just let me look from the side that I'm sketching on. Spline tool, which means I'm going to draw a curve. And it's not even a very regular curve. There. You can finish it up and then you can move these points around and that changes the shape of it. Whenever you're making a curve, the more points you put in, essentially the more trouble you give yourself in making the curve what's called fair and looking fairly decent. So I just caution you that when you do use a spline tool, just keep in mind you want to keep it as simple as you need it to be to get the features you want. In my case, I don't really care. I made this thing that's curvy. And I want to do that because I'd like to make the box fit together only one way. So I'm going to accept that sketch. I've got that now. Now I'm going up to, trying to remember where it is, insert surfaces. I'm going to extrude that curve to make a surface. And I'd already selected the curve, so was happy with that. And right now it's extruding that way. I want to go the opposite way, and I'm going to make that go through everything. There. So I've created this curvy surface. Now, if I unroll my split, I'm going to go back and revise this, but I'm not going to use that plane anymore. I'm going to use this new surface I've created, and I'm cutting the bodies. There. And so now it's already simply edited what I've already done. I'm going to get some errors with it, I'm sure. And you can just see what each body is by highlighting it or not highlighting it. There, done. So now I've gone through with very little change. I didn't even get rid of that plane that I created. And instead of splitting it on that kind of boring curve, I have now made this part that's split apart on this curvy surface. So let's go and see what those parts look like. I'm going to go ahead and open those files, simple box top. Now when I open it up, it's going to give me a bunch of errors. And the reason it's going to give me a bunch of errors is because I based these cuts and things on there being a planar surface on the top, and that's just not the case anymore. So I'm going to have to just roll back a couple of these things. basically all of these things. I think I'm just going to delete those. There. So when I delete the feature that everything else was built on, it deletes everything up to that point. Now, it saved the sketch, which was good, and the sketch that it saved, it has an error on it, so it's got this alert, and I'm just going to go and see what it is it doesn't like about the sketch. And you can see that the thing it doesn't like is highlighted in brown here. It always shows you that, or in my case, I've set it up to be brown. And so that part, and if I highlight, it says, ooh, that edge that I tried to copy doesn't really exist. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that, delete that, 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 and eventually I deleted everything that I could find that was a problem, and sometimes it's still really finicky. So I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to start from scratch with a different sketch. Just delete the whole darn thing, because there wasn't much to that sketch anyway. And I'm going to start a new sketch. I still want to do the same thing. I still want to make my part with a cutaway so that the box top and bottom will fit together. I'm going to, instead of picking a flat plane that was up here, I'm going to pick this inside plane to sketch from. Actually, no, I think to make my numbers consistent, I'm going to pick this bottom plane. And I'm going to do the same deal. I'm going to do the convert entities here, boom. And now it's happy with that. And I'm going to do the offset entities. I don't want 10 millimeters though, I want 2 millimeters. It's gone the wrong way, so reverse, like that, boom. So now I've got a sketch kind of like where I had before, but this time it doesn't have an error in it. And I'm going to use this to cut away the inside, the outside of my part. Actually, no, sorry. I want to cut away the inside. I want to cut away the inside of the part. So I'm going to go and go to my features, extruded cut, and I don't want to pick this in between bit, so I'm not going to select that. I'm going to select this, trying to get it there. I want to pick that region. So I just selected the closed region on the inside of this as the cutaway. And I'm not going to start from the sketch plane. I'm going to start offset from the sketch plane. Wrong way. That's too much. Maybe I'm going to select 14. Like so. So now I'm cutting on the inside of the part, and I'm going to cut through all. There. So now I've got this inside bit where I've cut it away, and the same as we've done before, you can go in and do the mating part on the matching part, and then you'll have this box that will have this wavy-davy outside thing. So all you'll have to do is reverse what I just, or do the inverse of what I just did, do the inside part and extrude out from down from it on the other, so that you've got a mating piece in there. and then you'll have a box that will be kind of funky like this and fit together. So that's for those of you who wanted to try something a bit more sophisticated. Keep trying. Good luck. Hope you enjoyed that. See you in class.